Welcome to the Let's Talk Money Honey podcast with me, Kadidja Bingham, where we spill the tea on entrepreneurship. The sweet, the sour, and most importantly, we're talking money, honey. I am so excited about today's episode because I have my dear friend and my fraternal name twin, Kadidja Dosso, here with me. Kadidja Dosso is the CEO and founder of the Dosso Beauty empire. And I can't wait to get into this conversation because this girl is really going to give y'all the real. Kadidja, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Absolutely. And thank you, Kadidja, for having me. Y'all can hear us say that a lot. Y'all, my name is Kadidja Dosso. I'm the founder and CEO of Dosso Beauty. We are a hypoallergenic and organic hair care company catered to people who have sensitive scalp and skin. Now, I not only own the brand of hypoallergenic braiding hair, organic hair care products, but I own the Dosso Beauty
You better say it. You better say it.
I'm a salon owner, y'all. So I have a luxury hair braiding salon here in Philly in the Maniac area where we have luxury services for hair braiding, takedown services, everything that is co-braid related. We also have within the same space our first retail brick and mortar store. So I'm excited to chat with you today, sis.
Oh my God, so excited. So let's kick this off, right? In the intro, I said sweet moments, sour moments, entrepreneurship. Back in the day when I used to do this podcast and it wasn't audio, I would give my sweet moment every week because, baby, I had sweet moments, but I had a lot of sour moments. So can you share with us one sweet moment that you've had during entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I would say, so I've been in entrepreneurship for 6 years. I started Dosso Beauty, the brand, in 2018. And I would love to say that one of my sweetest moments was recently during my grand opening. Before we had the grand opening block party where we had about like 400 people who came out, y'all, like from LA, Cali, like people that didn't even know me came up from Florida, Connecticut, like all over just to support the brand in our opening.
Beautiful.
I was so grateful for that. So that entire weekend was just like my sweetest moment because a lot of times as an entrepreneur who is a solo founder as well, like there's a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah.
So I never really get a chance to sink in and really look at my work that I've done. And so now having a brick and mortar space where people can walk into, where they know the brand, like where they can physically see the products and they can physically see me, I feel like that was the next step that I needed to like really know that like girl, I knew I was that girl, but like I'm really that girl. Like,
Period.
you know, like it was like, oh my God, like y'all are here for me. Wow. Like that's amazing. So that was my really sweet moment. And I'll take that moment with me because I know that I've made our community proud. I've made all of our supporters proud. And I've definitely made my late grandparents proud.
Girl.
So that's really, really why I was like, oh, yeah, this is sweet.
I love it. Let me tell you, I'm so excited about the takedown service.
Listen.
Everybody's like, Kadidja, those braids in your hair are so small. How you taking them out? Taking them out? I'm not taking them out. I'm going to Dosso Beauty experience. I already priced it out. Everything is in my budget. Yes. Share with us a sour moment because everything comes with a cost, right? Like we glamorize entrepreneurship, freedom of time, so they say. Freedom of your schedule, so they say. But everything comes at a cost. What's a sour moment that you've had during your journey?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a repetitive sour moment. It's the loss of friendship and true genuineness.
Oh, I did not think we was about to go there.
I know, I did not think I was going to get that deep, but that's real, right? I think that as we continue to climb to the top and like we have our own goals that we want to reach, sometimes other friends that are around us, like they can't come with us. And so those are the sourest moments where as though it feels like I outgrew someone in the relationship that we had and they can't grow with me. And you know, sometimes people boomerang, right? They come back and into your life when they're ready to accept all that you are. But I've learned to not diminish myself and all that I was created to be because this is divine. Like what we're doing is like something that was already written to the books. And so if somebody can't walk with you on that journey and love on you the same way or loving you in a different way that you need to be loved in, then like, you know, unfortunately you have to step aside. So I've had to step aside from friendships, from people that have worked for me in the company that I thought were dear friends. But, you know, hey, like, love y'all for real. And it's all still love. But like, I got to keep moving.
What were defining moments for you that like let you know that like some friendships, some work relationships are no longer serving me?
Well, I'll give you the first double sour moment is that like when it started costing me too much money. Whenever you're paying for a service or you're paying for something and you question whether you should be paying for it or not, or whether you're getting your money's worth, that's the first indicator. So for me, it was like, whoo, is this in the budget? Should this be in my budget? As much as I sacrifice as a solo founder who has I've only had non-dilutive capital, but I don't have anybody on my cap table that's funding me.
Right.
I'm funding me.
Right.
So if I'm cashing out of my 401k, doing all of these other crazy entrepreneurial things, taking like life risks, and I don't feel like you giving me my money's worth, then nah. We got to reevaluate. That's one. I think the other thing is when it's time to reevaluate a friendship is if people start to sound like they're giving you backhanded compliments. They're like, oh, this is nice. Oh, that's what's up.
Your little business.
Yeah. Your little business. Oh, don't you do makeup? Oh, yeah. Oh, how is your thing going? Honey, we have stats, numbers, facts, and all the things, right? Like, so if you try to diminish me, my story, and like what I have going on or real life, my real life, then like you don't really get it. So like I think it's time to step away for a second, until you can gather yourself.
Yeah. And I know that has to I'm so happy you brought that up because I feel like we hear in like rap songs and stuff all the time. It's like everybody can't go.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I'm sure you've probably fought longer than you should have for friendships to stay, for work relationships to stay. But it does come to that moment where you're like, it's no longer serving me.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been in entrepreneurship for 6 years?
Yes.
Were you full-time the entire time?
No.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. Okay. So I started at a Big Four consulting firm.
Okay. Oh, that's where we met, y'all.
That's crazy. We definitely
We were interning. We're interning at P-Dub. Shout out to P-Dub, the dub.
The dub. Yeah, the dub. So I started out. That was my very first internship. My second internship. Well, my very first internship, PwC, but then I did that internship until the internship was like, all right, girl, you can't do this one no more.
They like, try something else.
No, literally, like, can you be a start intern 3 times? A fourth? No, right? Just for them to give me a crazy low offer. But nevertheless, anyway, then interned at Morgan Stanley, made the least amount of money at an internship that I've ever made.
At Morgan Stanley?
Morgan Stanley working in Beverly Hills, sis. I'm talking like, I was looking at $300 checks.
No. For a day?
Ma'am, every 2 weeks.
No.
I'm talking like their tax rate is like 30%. 30%. I was like, I was eating in and out because I couldn't afford it. I came back. They like, damn, did you skip this? I'm like, listen, y'all, all I do is work.
All I could afford is
all I got is in and out and this leftover. I'm chopping up the big bags of pasta in 4 portions. So I got 4 or 5 meals. So, a girl was struggling. Then senior year of college, I go to an interview at Accenture, right? I'm like, oh, consulting, like, what is that? Like, what does the management consulting kind of look like? I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and I'm going to do that interview. I'm going to apply. I had some people that had graduated and started working there already. I was like, hey, give me tips, all the things. I started inquiring because I was in a master's in business administration program. So technically I was supposed to stay in school for 5 years to get my MBA instead of 6. And I was like, actually, are y'all leaving here making more money with your MBA? And at the time they weren't. So I said, well, you know what? Like, I'm a full ride student. Like, I want to make money and my family needs me to make money. So you know what? Let me go apply for this. Technically didn't get the offer from Accenture at first.
Okay.
Because there were other MBA candidates that were graduating that would have taken my spot.
Okay.
But I did ask on that call when I talked to the recruiter, like, hey, well, is there any feedback that you can give me so that way I know what mistakes not to make on my next interview? Because this is the only job interview that I've applied for. She actually said that I had a perfect score interview. The only issue is they didn't have any more spots. 2 weeks later, I'm finishing up a final. I'm like, damn, like, I know it's a bunch of people here. I got better grades than them. Like, I'm more involved than them. But, like, whatever, if it's not for me, it's not for me. I get a call, like, right after my final, like, 2 weeks later. And they're like, hey, Kadidja, we actually want to call to give you your first offer for your first choice, New York City. and you're going to start off making $90,000. I'm like,
I'd be like, bitch, what?
I was like, yes, I don't care what it is.
I'm doing it.
I'm like, 90 bands. What? That's crazy. So I moved to New York. I start working at Accenture. Although I had all of that finance internship, they really wanted me to be in financial services. And I was like, no, I'm a product girly. I'm going to own an organic beauty empire, because I've been saying that since I was a little girl. And I like muddled my way into it. Very, very bad first project. Like, I'm talking like HR call, like a whole bunch of things happened.
Like you was on the PIP? Like they...
No, it wasn't my performance. It was more so like my manager at the time was like staring at me from behind me, intimidating me. And my colleagues would see that. And it was a very, very weird culture. Very weird, not a good culture fit for me. So I ended up getting rolled off the project because I called my career counselor, who just so happened to be my manager's best friend, and I asked her for advice. So I got rolled off the project, and I was on the bench, which for people that don't know, on the bench is like basically you have a job, but like you're not on an actual project. So you have to job hunt again.
Okay, so you like job hunt within
your company? Yes. Okay. So you have to literally put your resume out. You have to interview. You need to do free work, right? In non-billable hours, right? And so
But you're still getting paid.
I'm still getting paid, but I have a timeline. Okay. Until like it's like, hey, you get dinged. Hey, you 3 more months, you get dinged again, because the way consulting kind of works is like the client is supposed to pay for you so that the company can make money off of you. So if I am not billing or charging a client directly, that means that Accenture or that company is paying for me. And that's a no-go with them. You need to be billable. It's just like being a lawyer. Like, you need to be billable.
Yeah,
like,
you need to be making us money.
Exactly.
That's what we paying you to do.
Literally. We paying for benefits, all these things.
Right.
So I'm
it's not like you in HR or something, right?
Literally, no, not internal. Like, I'm not helping the company.
You are a revenue producing person.
I am here to make the money. That's it, you know? So basically, around the time that I got rolled off the project, my grandmother passed away in December of 2017. Most important person in my life. Like, it was gut-wrenching. My grandpa passed away in April, right before I graduated. So the same year, 7-month span, they both passed away. These are the people that raised me, like, made me tenacious, made me who I am. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I got rolled off a project. My grandma's gone. Like, what do I do? So I was pretty lost for a little bit, for a few months, but I was like, you know what? Like, I always told her I was going to start Dosso Beauty. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it, but I'm going to YouTube and Google how to start a beauty brand with like no money. So I took $1,000 from that Accenture check. And I was like,
$90K job.
Right.
My girl was making money.
I was making some money, but it's New York taxes too. Okay, I had to pay Brooklyn taxes. I had no roommates in my first apartment in New York, because like I was like, no, I only want my roommate from college. That's my only roommate ever. That was stupid. But like, I was like, all right.
Living in New York without a roommate your first year there.
I've been a nasty girl.
That's
like,
nuts, dog.
Bro, it was very nasty work. I was like, yeah, nah. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's do this. Let's figure this out. So I started the business. We started with 4 styles of mink eyelashes, because I Googled the fastest and cheapest way.
Wait, hold up. Flirty,
bossy, drama queen. And then showstopper.
Okay. I think I had flirty.
You did.
Yeah.
That was your
Those
girl.
are the first lashes I've ever owned.
That was sweet. I was like, Kadidja, you should get these lashes. I got you, sis. But yeah, so started with lashes. And then people just started asking me like, yo, Deej, like, I don't wear lashes, but like, I'm hella ashy and I'm tired of the shea butter ruining my clothes. So then I created our shea butter formula. My brother, he had a patchy beard at the time. He like, yo, sis, you got me? I'm like, I got you. So I'm doing all this research on like essential oils and all the things that I can help to produce to, again, solve problems. Now, let me take 2 steps back real quick. My last name is Dosso. I started Dosso Beauty because Dosso is synonymous for Fofana. My dad is West African. It's a very West African name. Fofana means hunter.
Okay.
So I then saw myself as like the hunter of organic beauty supplies.
Okay.
So that's kind of, I was like, all right, cool. I can go find this stuff out. Because before then, I'm going to these beauty supply stores, asking them questions. They had no answers. So I'm like, you know what? I could do this myself.
Like, what kind of questions were you asking them?
what are these ingredients? Why are the words so damn big? And why is people's hair falling out? That was at the low level when I was a little girl doing hair in high school, in middle school. Like, I was just noticing everybody, no edges. And like, you know, people had like horrible effects from like perms and relaxers. And I'm like, yo, what's really happening here? Like, I want to know what's happening. So I'm asking questions. Then I turn around and I'm like, hey, well, can I work here? And like, they're like, no, like, you be asking us too many questions. Like, you asking us too many questions. Hell no, you
They
can't
like,
work
you
here.
try to interview us.
Ma'am, buy your little two, three things and get out of here. So yeah, so I was just inquisitive by that. And like, of course, when I saw other Black owned beauty supply stores, I would ask them questions or ask them for mentorship. Because,
Were they open to it?
No. And that's the most unfortunate thing, right? Because it's like, I'm a Black young woman who is like hungry and is just trying to learn, right? Trying to be a sponge, but not just to be a sponge to soak up everything you got, right? But to give back, right? Like, to my community and people that's coming after me or my peers. And so that sucked, but it's fine, like, because I knew that I was going to have to build my own table anyway. So, and that's what I did. Yeah, so I had a crazy allergic reaction. This is our hero product now, our hypoallergenic braiding hair, which I'm wearing in my hair, y'all. Crazy ass allergic reaction to braids. My hair, I had a pixie cut and a short cut for a very long time.
Was it because of the allergic reaction?
No. So I had the short cut because my grandma had a short cut.
Okay.
Like, so that was my girl. So I was like, okay, that's kind of why I did it. But then moving to New York, it was cold.
Yeah.
Like, so my hair was cold. So I was like, no. We got to figure something out. So I'm like, let me get some braids. But I heard that people have been having allergic reactions. So let me go get this other brand that says it's supposed to be clean. My scalp was inflamed. I had purple bumps all around my crown. It was so bad I had to take the braids out.
How long did you sit for those braids?
8 hours.
And then how long did they last before you took them out?
2 days.
Girl, how much money did you waste?
$250.
I mean, but you was making $90K, so.
I was still mad as hell. I was mad as hell. Including the hair, it was $300. I'm like, damn it. I still got to pay for inventory. I still got to do this. Like, it was wild. Like, it was so wild. And I was like, nah, like, there is just no way. So I was like, nah, let me ask Instagram. So I asked, like, I did a poll on Instagram and I was like, yo, was anybody else having allergic reaction to braids? And so many people, like 200 people in 2 days,
And
was
like, my scalp is on fire.
Girl, this is why I don't get braids. Girl, I had to soak the hair in apple cider vinegar for 2 days beforehand. Girl, yes, like, I have not been able to wear my hair in braids for such a long time. Yes, I've been ignoring it for years because I thought that's how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so I said, nah, like, something got to change. So me going to hunt, I hunted for like a year and like sourced all these different manufacturers to try to see who actually was clinically tested, who was actually like hypoallergenic. I'm the test dummy. Like, I'm braiding my own hair all the time. Like, okay, you get a reaction? Are you itching? Okay, cool. Well, oh, wait, 3 days later. Wait, damn it. Shit. So
this ain't it.
No, it really wasn't. So once we launched the braiding hair in 2020 during the pandemic, like, people was like, oh my God, there's a solution. And I was like, yeah, there's a solution. So like, from a numbers perspective, I mean, we was doing pop-up shops with the lashes and the shea butter and stuff, but like, it's e-com now. We can't do pop-up shops during the pandemic.
Right.
We 13x in like one quarter.
So what does that mean?
We made 13 times our revenue for the whole entire previous year within 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Because then I found my niche and my product market fit. So yeah.
Your story is so incredible because even just hearing, because at this point, you're still working full time.
Literally.
Even if we just go back to college, you got so many no's and you didn't let any of those no's stop you. You are so perseverant.
Thank you.
Like, where does that come from? Like, how come, like, after you get no after no after no, you still keep going? Like, where do you pull that strength from?
I mean, a couple different places, right? Like, my father is an immigrant from West Africa. He came over here. He's from a French-speaking country, Ivory Coast. He came over here not knowing no English. So he was getting no's all the time. And he made a way out of no way. He always told me no too growing up, which is crazy. So I was like kind of used to
You're like, all right,
bro,
eventually it's going
like,
to come around.
And when he would tell me no, I would say, okay, that's fine. I could do it myself, right? When I asked for something. And I'm so grateful for my dad being a little harder on me. I mean, I'm just crazy. Like 10, 17, 18, 19-year-old Katie would not have said, oh, my dad is so mean. I love it. But like, I'm super grateful for those moments because they prepared me for what was to come. I'm a like history nerd, you know that. So like, I'm gonna go back to my name and our name, right? Like Kadidja was the Prophet Muhammad's first wife. She was also the one that helped him to build his wealth and his fame. But like thinking about like BC times when like she was named what she was named, like a woman to do all of that and to be a successful business owner, like
it's in me.
Literally. That's
Like,
why your name is so
literally in me,
important.
right?
That's exactly why your name is so important. So like all of those things like really helped me to just say like yes to myself, right? So I mean, even we ain't even get to that part yet, but like applying for grants, I applied for 100 grants before I got the first yes. 100. Every target accelerated program. Everyone you could think of, I was applying.
Girl, you like in my eyes, you the accelerator queen.
Now
I'm like,
after I got that yes, I got the big yes, and they was like, "Ooh, oh yeah,
now
yeah."
everybody was on you.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, some people still have told me no.
Yeah.
Right? Some big names have told me absolutely not. Right? And I'm okay with that. Because sometimes it's not a no indefinitely.
It's like not now.
Not now. And then also sometimes it's a no for a reason. Because there have been like brands and like stores that wanted to carry our products, and I was so eager and being like, yes, brand ethos, they're eco-friendly. Da da da. And then like I spoke to the founder and like I found out how they conduct business, and I was like, whoa, we don't align. So like, thank you for that no, because it now propelled me to take a step back and look like, let me reflect on like what I'm doing for my business and where I want to be. Because you got to be selective about like who you give your energy, your product, your time, and your name and your brand to.
Right. Right. Oh, wow. All right, Kadidja. 2020, we launched the hypoallergenic braiding hair. You still working this job?
Yeah.
Get me to, at what point did you transition to full-time entrepreneurship?
Okay, so 2020, still working this job. Tired of it, child. Motherfucking tired.
And like, how you doing both?
What, one laptop? Well, technically at that time I didn't have my
But
personal
was you on
laptop.
the bench still at this point?
No, I was on a project. I was on a 2-year project at like Pfizer, like, and I had to be in person once a month.
Okay.
But yeah, but I was okay. So I got through it because I was like working on Dosso Beauty from Accenture's laptop. And so like I was like, oh, they know too. I was like, y'all, I'm sorry. Like I didn't have a laptop at the time. I was not about to drop $1,500. That's my rent and product. Like so, you know, yeah. Yeah. So I built Dosso Beauty off of my work laptop for
That's
real.
crazy because Money Honey's like first iteration of stuff was built on PwC's laptop when we were interning.
Yes.
My second internship with them.
Yes. Because like you have to
Should
start
we
from
not
somewhere.
say this? Like, can they try and sue us for some
like,
shit?
I think we good. We good now. Like we had to clear. Like we were still there. Don't be like ejectocito, baby. Like nah. So no. Yeah, built it on Accenture's laptop and was forever grateful for that. But I felt like my time was up. Like sometimes you just feel like you're not supposed to be any somewhere anymore because you feel like you've gotten all that you could. I've networked as much as I could. I was the AAERG lead for the New York Metro office with 300 people, like doing all the things, giving them my all, spending $40,000 a quarter on quarterly happy hours for the analysts and all. I was doing it all, but I was like, yo, y'all don't appreciate me. So I said, okay, like let's start to create this exit plan and go harder for Dosso Beauty. So 2020 again. Dropped the braiding hair at the top of 2021. I applied to Pharrell Williams' Black Ambition Prize. And I was like, it was on the last day. It was wild. It was on the very last day. Felicia, do not kill me. Because they always tell this about like the other founder, like the other grand prize winner of $1 million. He applied on the very last day as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, so we was in the trenches, but it was an arduous process and an arduous, like, and really, really fulfilling application because, like, any of the other 100 before then, like, it was like, oh, hey, what do you want to do? What are you going to do with the money? No, they asked deep questions like, what are you rooted in? Like, how does your business provide for the community? What is your background? Like, they wanted to get to know me. And so I dug deep into, like, who I am and telling my story, right? Like, So I mean, I remember some of the responses like, "Hey, like I told them my story about how I grew up in West Philly and had two beauty supply stores and none of them had organic products." And I was like, "Why?" And they loved that. And
Mhm.
so one Black Ambition HBCU grand prize was my first win.
Awesome. Your
$250,000.
first win being $250,000 is
It's actually
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm so grateful because, like, literally, I was like, they're acting a little funny. They're like, hey, Kadidja, we need you on a call. And, like, we're sending you all this, like, equipment and, like, da da da. And I was just like, I'm just happy to be here. Like, thank you for this cohort. I'm just grateful. Like, really grateful. I'm the only one asking questions. I'm showing up to every meeting. Again, I'm on Accenture
That was
meetings
for
and on them.
you. Oh, wow.
You know, like,
Mhm.
God did his big one. So I was like, all right, cool. $250,000. What the hell do I do with that? Wow, there's a lot that you can do with it, but you also go through a lot really, really quick. And so got the 250K. I said, I think I could take a leave of absence from
Mm.
Accenture. Let me see what I can finagle at least for a year to see if this is really for me.
How was that? Like, did you just go to your boss and say, I want to not work for a year so I can work on this business? And they said, cool, your job will be here for you in a year when you get back?
So the thing about consulting, which I do like, is that you don't necessarily have a boss unless you're assigned to a project, but you
Okay.
do have a career counselor who is in charge of your actual like career.
Okay.
And so she already knew about Dosso Beauty. All of Accenture. My first pop up was at Accenture at our our Black History
Oh,
Month expo.
wow.
So like they already knew about it, and that was their selling point to clients as well too. That I'm a small business owner and I have that expertise.
Oh,
I've had
wow.
these trainings, so they was using me in that capacity. So when
That's
the
dope.
news broke, like everybody knew. So they was like, yeah, she about to leave. But also nobody was trying to put me on the project. They was like, oh, she about to be out. So like I'm not even going like waste my time. Which is fine because like bye. So I won on like July the 2nd, 2021. I found that out then. They did a public release like the next week. I
Okay.
said, you know what, get me into the end of the summer. And I wanted to make sure that again, history. My grandfather's birthday is September 22nd. He
Mm.
built the first McDonald's on 52nd Street. I don't know if you knew that.
No idea.
My grandfather built the first McDonald's on 52nd
Oh,
Street. Like they were
wow.
not giving contracts to black people in the 60s and 70s, but him and his brother did.
Oh, wow.
And so literally I was like, I gotta pay homage to Pop Up. Like, so on his birthday, I am going to officially take my leave of absence.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you bring that up because I don't even think that people realize that that's a thing that they can do.
Yeah.
Like, I would have never, well, one, my experience with hearing that they were so supportive of you being a small business
Mhm.
owner is makes me a little jealous because the company I worked for was not. They were
Yeah.
like, oh, no, girl, shut that down.
Yeah.
I said, ooh,
Yeah.
y'all petty.
Right. No, for real. For real.
Wow. And then so you took the leave of absence for a year.
Yes.
And
A year and a half.
during that time, I guess because you had the $250,000, you were able to pay yourself.
Yes.
And also, were you hiring at the time? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, so I was hiring. I made some big money mistakes too.
Like what?
Well, one of my mentors at the time told me, oh, well, like, you're blowing up. So you need a 3PL, which is a third party logistic company. And what they don't tell you is that if you have a lot of SKUs or a lot of different product types, that's like, even if I have 10 to 12 products, if I got 20 colors of this one pack of hair, that's 20 extra SKUs. So I had like 300 SKUs. So I gotta pay per SKU. And then I gotta pay for y'all to pick it out of the bin. And then I gotta pay if I want to put a sticker in there. Girl, I was running through money quick. I was like, wait.
So you thought you were going to be saving time
Yes.
because you wouldn't have to be doing the packaging. I mean, packing any of the orders or anything. All of your inventory was going right there. The whole time you running through money.
No, literally burning it. Literally, I was setting it on fire because, and remember, I'm coming from New York. I decided to move back to Philly. Like literally the day before I like found out that I won Black Ambition. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna live a soft life in my little penthouse. Like I'm gonna chill. Like I don't gotta pack orders no more. I ain't gotta run to UPS no more. No. Like that wasn't it. They were messing up my orders.
So like they was sending out the wrong stuff?
They sent one customer, and I'll never forget it. They sent one customer 15 pairs of lashes. She ordered one, bro.
So they just giving away inventory. They reimbursed you for that?
Hell no.
Oh my God.
Hell no. Because you got to go into arbitration. It was a lot. Biggest money mistake. If you ain't ready for a 3PL, do not let anybody convince you to do it. Until your supply chain operations are together, until you get your SKUs down to your heroes, which you really need to sell, do not try to outsource it. And there are great 3PLs, but they're made for companies that have a low SKU list, that have like 10, not 300. Like, yeah, like no. So yeah, so that's kind of how that happened.
How'd you bounce back from that?
About to get my shit back.
Oh, yeah, I remember. It was in St. Louis, right?
No, yes, St. Louis.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no. So I'm either gonna pull up, y'all are gonna answer the phone, or y'all gonna ship me my 17 pallets of product back. And so on a whim, I was looking, I was like, I'm gonna find a warehouse. I'm just gonna be there temporarily. That's it. So found a warehouse, and I was like, hey, I have 17 pallets that are coming in less than a week. I really need to move my products in there. Like, if you have industrial shelving, that would be great. But like, I can pay for 6 months at least now. And like, we take it from there. And I found some in Northeast. It was not pretty, child, but it was mine.
It was yours.
It was mine.
And it was like the first Dosso Beauty warehouse.
Yes. Where I could actually see. That was scary as hell too. 17 pallets?
Yeah.
17 pallets of product that I purchased, that's scary and intimidating. And so I started
Why is it scary and intimidating?
Because you look at how much money you spent. Like, it's different if you go to brunch every day. Like, you eat the food, but you shit it out. You don't keep it and be like, I'm storing food all over the place. Like, no. But you paying for a product, and you got to look at it. When it's not moving, baby, it lights a fire under you, because it's like, no, but what do we need to do to get this product moving? Right? Like FIFO, LIFO. Like when I think about all of the financial background that I have and knowledge that I'm like, no, this is bad. Like, we got to make it go. But I think that now it's harder because it's hard to keep it in. And I think the girls are like consuming the braiding hair because 1B, she doesn't last more than 3 weeks.
Of course not.
I mean, like, sis.
1B is that girl.
I just purchased 1,000 like 3 weeks ago. Wait, I'm trying, please. Like, because as a business owner, again, product-based business, I got to buy it before I sell it.
It's not like you can be like, braiding hair on pre-order.
Right. Or I do, and that, because we do right now for some colors, and like,
for some colors that makes sense
down
though.
The door.
But like for 1B girl, I need this. That's why I'm so happy you have the retail space, because I'm the girl that's like, shit, I got a hair appointment today. Yeah. I need to go get some hair. So like,
you win 90%.
Me trying to pre-order that, not happening. Yeah, I know. I gotta go to the Asian people.
No, I know.
Or get what they got at the salon. Yeah. My scalp on fire. Yeah. And I'm dealing with it.
I know. And then you mad and you calling me like, Deej, I shouldn't have did
it.
I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have. I'm like, Kadidja, I told you. But yeah. So
it's so interesting to me. The products that you started with, you no longer sell.
No.
How did you make that pivot?
Numbers talk. I'm a data-driven person. So like at the end of the day, I looked at the numbers, and even though I love PTO and per my last email, that was one of our lip gloss names, y'all. We came up with that in the lab at Accenture's office. That's so funny. We had a team meeting in the Accenture office like, hey, we think of some cute corporate girly names for lip glosses that give attitude per my last email.
So was your target audience corporate girlies?
At one point with the cosmetics, yes.
Okay.
Because they were intrigued by it and they wanted something that wouldn't be too bold for the office, but that they can also wear out as well too, right? So like something that like was a happy medium. But now what I'll say is like our target demographic has changed. The at least the core functionality of it. Like as far as age range, it's usually between 25 and 45. But from a data perspective, I have the hard numbers of like 60% of our customers are married.
Really?
25% of them are actually using their husband's Amazon account.
How you know this? Data is crazy. I guess it's really like degrees in data analytics. Like it's really people out here that just know how to manipulate the shit out of data to make decisions.
Like even like from a educational perspective.
That's
80%
crazy.
of our customers have at least a bachelor's degree.
Fuck, do you know that?
Bro, 20% of our customers make over $250,000.
How do you know this? You're not answering my question. Like, where is this data?
Systems, at least for Amazon.
Wow. Amazon know everything about this. That's
Told you.
crazy.
I know. I know.
And they telling y'all.
I know.
That's wild.
I'm eating it up. But like, you know, I'm just on too, so they got my data. So we in this thing together for real. So it's just interesting to see to answer your question. The number spoke for itself. Our hair, the 13X, that's where it started. Ooh, this braiding hair must be it. All right, cool. Now we're selling less lip glosses, right? But like, part of us is like, oh, I don't want to give it up, and I didn't want to. I was
just about to ask that. Like, how was it just deciding that you wanted to?
It wasn't making me money. I can't spend money on things that have a feeling attached to it versus like numbers and data attached to it. Like, I'm fulfilling a need for hundreds of thousands of women.
Right.
With this hair.
Right.
The lip glosses is cute. If I just had a brick and mortar store back then where they can just pick it up and be like, oh, this, whatever. Arbitrary inventory that just is stale inventory, technically, the technical term for it. It just sits there and it has a shelf life for 3 to 5 years. And like, you can just keep buying it or, you know, whatever, sell it out until it's no more. But the braiding hair, our hero product, was screaming that we are a braiding hair company. And so it was about like maybe 2 years ago where I stopped saying that I'm an organic beauty supplier. And then I started saying that Dosso Beauty is a hypoallergenic braiding hair brand, an organic hair care company, cater to people who have sensitive scalp and skin. Because all of those words now have some significance to people who either love braids, are eco-friendly, are hyper-conscious about the ingredients that are in their products, or that have sensitive skin. So now this hit 4 target demos. Right. And they're like, oh, bing, 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 bing. Yes.
I love the evolution. And I love that you have like the insight to evolve based off of the numbers, based off of the data. And I think because of it, you're really able to sell your product. You're able to sell yourself, your brand. Because so many times we hear people say like, find a niche, find a niche, find a niche. And it's like your niche found you. Yeah. And it was like so often we feel like we have to know the answer right away. But it's like while we're going through the journey that things become more and more clear to us. And I think that that's so apparent in your journey. Wow. You really that girl.
Thank you, sis. You are too.
Wow. So, okay. A year and a half, leave of absence. You go back to Accenture for how long?
Well, let's start with this. They called my ass on December 26th and was like, you have
Wait, I remember this.
60 days to find a project or you will be terminated. And I was like, terminated without no severance? No. So I called in the folk. I called in the Black MDs. I said, listen, homeboy, shout out to Ra Thomas. If you know Accenture, you know Ra Thomas. I was like, Ra, I need a project, bro. Like, they about to terminate me with like no severance. Like, bro, put me on something. Oh wow. So I get on I can't disclose the name, but it's a big luxury house. And I get to do some consumer data, which is literally what I needed for Dosso Beauty. Wow. And so, like, our experience, the Dosso Beauty experience, part of that is from, like, my learnings from that project of literally going to fashion houses.
I love that because people be trying to hate on corporate. And I'm like, listen, corporate is your opportunity to get paid to learn. Yes. Like, you literally are losing money making mistakes. Yes. But, like, how great is it to lose their money and make mistakes? Literally. You know, like, you can't have that as an entrepreneur. No. So I'm happy that you were able to tap into that.
Yes. So that was such a lesson learned. And then, like, of course, again, everybody like, oh, Kadidja is doing Dosso Beauty. So, like, we don't want her. So, like, I couldn't get any other projects. And quite honestly, I was like, okay, I know my timing is near, but, like, I'm trying to get this check because I need a couple extra checks. So, I ended up being terminated from the company in July of last year.
How did that feel?
Freeing. I felt free. I thought I was going to be, like, sad or scared. But, like, the fact that a year went by without me even thinking that, like, I didn't have one check from Accenture I was like, oh no, you could do this. Like now, don't get me wrong, those extra 6 months in the service was nice.
Yeah.
It was some stability to get me back where I needed to be, right? To be good. But like the fact that I survived and thrived without this check. And then remember, like we say the 90,000, like what I started with, we think of that number and straight out of college, it is a big number. But like when you're doing big business,
Yeah.
and I'm in a $12 trillion industry, and I now see that I can make and did make well over $300,000
Yeah.
consecutively 3 consecutive years.
Yeah.
The 130 is already, but like I take the 400. Like,
are you able to pay yourself that yet? Like
400,000?
Yeah, like get like to yourself. Are you able to
Absolutely
pay
not.
that to yourself yet?
No,
Okay.
not yet. And I don't think that I will be there for a while.
Okay.
Because I think that where I see Dosso Beauty is less about me having this huge salary. Because number one, I'm gonna have to pay taxes on both ends for that salary. So absolutely not. Outside of that huge salary, like I believe in reinvesting in the business. And so in order to make this thing as it continues to grow, I'm going to have to pay for product. Product costs a lot of money, y'all. Cost of goods sold. Every time you see a new label, that means that I had to waste a ton of product that I probably had already and get it relabeled or throw it away, right? It was a loss. And so like all of these different elements of what we're doing all cost money. So me making $400,000 from Dosso Beauty directly, that's not going to happen probably in the next like 5 years.
Yeah.
Because I now can say, hey, let me build this very strong team so that I don't have to be in the weeds every single day. I don't have to be like, oh my God, let me pack these orders.
Girl, I'm so happy we talking money, honey, because people don't realize that the revenue is not the profit, right? Like just even hearing you say my business made $300,000 year over year over year. I'm not even paying myself $100,000 that year, right? Like I am reinvesting that back into the business. And I think that that's something that like not enough people are talking about. People are like, I got $1 million business, but how much did it cost you to run that business?
And how much
money did you have to lose? Right.
But Deej, when we really get down to it, right? Like people are not business people. They have a good idea and they might be great marketers. If you can't, when we used to sit down and look at the P&L and I'm asking you questions about it, that's because I'm educated enough to understand what these line items are.
Right.
We can have conversations and read a P&L like we're reading like the newspaper or a blog, right? Like we can say, oh, okay, oh, this is what we put there. Okay, remember when we did this activation? Wait, we miscalculated that, right? We put this in. Like,
and then use those numbers to think about stuff in the future, right?
Yes.
Like that's how you plan. You like, you know what? I know that normally this season is not a big season for me.
Right.
So do I do a promotion? Do I put some stuff on sale?
Right.
Do I do things like that? You know, like understanding your numbers is so important.
Yes.
And you really got that down.
A little something.
Wow. Okay, so what's next for Dosso Beauty? I know we just launched a space.
Yes.
What can we expect from you going forward?
Yes. So we will have so many really dope events and collaborative events with other entrepreneurs in the space. We are looking for a few more braiders as well too to bring into the space. So if you are a talented braider, please hit me up.
You got to be talented.
No, you have to be talented because my girl Kiwi's like,
listen, one time she did my braids and I was like running late. I went to an event straight from there and this guy came up to me. He said, I don't know who did your hair, but they ate. And I was like, thank you.
She really be eating. I'm like, girl, like I be gagged every time. I'm like, so lovely. But yeah, no. So we're looking for a few more braiders. We're super excited. We will be at Envision Festival, as well as a few other really cool things. I cannot say.
Girl, don't say it because I don't know when this episode dropping.
Know.
And the shit probably passed already by the time the interview actually dropped.
Let's just say that we are in talks for a couple of dope shows.
Okay.
Like on air.
Okay.
And I'm excited, and we're going to leave that part there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're going to definitely go back to Africa. We did our very first international activation at Afrofuture Festival. So we will be back in Africa, continuing to expand our already global footprint. And yeah, like look forward in the next 3 to 5 years for a couple of more Dosso Beauty experiences.
Wow. So, like, what would be your next city?
New York for sure.
Okay. So, Philly, then New York, then where?
Philly, New York, DC, Atlanta, LA in that order.
Okay. Okay. I love that. Listen, I am so sad that we're out of time because I have so many questions for you. Like, I want to know how you paid for the space.
Girl.
I want to know
Less than 20,000. Let me say that. Less than $20,000
to design your new space.
It's called negotiation.
Girl, when is part 2? You coming back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have me back.
We bring you back because I need to know all the deets about that. So, but before you go, I need you to tell people where they can find you.
Yes.
All the socials.
Yes.
The actual address to the space.
Yes.
And any last advice that you have for entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. So you guys can find me on Instagram and across social handles at Kadidja, Kadidja .dosso, Dosso, or my business page at Dosso Beauty, again, Dosso Beauty, across all social channels. Guys, hit us up on LinkedIn if you do want to connect professionally. You can go to dossobeauty.com, Dosso Beauty.com. You can find us also at the Dosso Beauty Experience, Tuesday through Sunday, 5102 Rochelle Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And last words that I'll leave with you, guys, it's really, really hard to be an entrepreneur. And I know people will say, it's so hard, it's so hard, it's so hard. The hardest part about being an entrepreneur is about how hard you are on yourself. So give yourself grace and allow for yourself to walk in your path that's created for you, not one that's created for anybody else. We just tell our stories to give you inspiration, but there's no true blueprint for entrepreneurship.
Wow. Thank you so much for being on the Let's Talk Money Honey podcast. Can't wait to have part 2 with you so that I can really get into detail and ask you more about all of the numbers. Yes. I'm so happy that you were transparent and shared so many numbers with us already, but we need to talk more and get into it.
Yeah. Because people don't be talking numbers, so.
They don't. But on the Let's Talk Money Honey podcast, we talking money, honey, okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sis, for having me.
Of course. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Let's Talk Money Honey podcast with me, your host, Kadidja Bingham. I hope you found today's conversation with Kadidja Dosso of Dosso Beauty insightful. Entrepreneurship isn't easy, but it's in these real experiences and raw moments that true growth happens. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow hustlers and bosses. And if you're not already, make sure you follow us on Instagram. The link to our Instagram is in the show notes. And for all additional resources that Money Honey offers can be found in the show notes as well. Until next time, keep hustling, keep thriving, and keep making money, honey.